How's it, guys? Carl here from North Coast Constrictors. So the video that you're about to watch, you'll see it's a double introduction. I've already made this video. It's been about 3 to 4 days in the making, and so this is the introduction. But you'll see another introduction, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it's quite a long video, but it is absolutely, I feel, essential for a new ball python breeder. So if you are a new ball python breeder and you're in your first season or your second season and your first one didn't go so well, this is a must-watch video for you, because it covers everything from, look, not pairings or anything like that, but from a female that's about to lay, the egg tub preparation. In this video, I filmed some of it a few days ago before the female in question laid, then when she laid. I've shown how to prepare the egg box. I've done everything right from up until this morning, when I finally pulled the eggs from the female and put them into the incubator. And then I ended off by showing hatchlings that hatched last week and that are about to have their first pre-lay shed, and then hatchlings, my first clutch of eggs that are actually in their hatchling tubs. So it covers a variety of things, from actually just before female lays and how to set up your egg box, put them in the incubator. It discusses temperatures. It's very, very informative. It's something that I have seen a couple of these videos, but what I'm doing is I'm preparing you for quite a long video, but it's definitely worth the watch, and it's definitely worth it if you are literally in your very first season and you're expecting your very first clutch, and what to do and how to prepare, because I go through everything and I didn't rush it. So some of the guys, I'm just going to give you a heads up now, if you are already an experienced ball python breeder, there's really no point in watching this video, although I'd love you to watch it. Maybe if I've done something that you guys could say where I could improve, go ahead and feel free to drop something in the comment section below. But you know, the way I've done it, I've got great mentors. I was some of the best top breeders in the country that have guided me in my second season. In my first season, I had a mentor, and you know, we did things a little bit differently. He's still a great guy, great breeder. But in my very first season, I made quite a few mistakes. My second season now, I've done things completely different, and I'm having a wonderful season. I'm having a very successful season. Obviously, I've had some disappointments in this season, some females that I wanted to ovulate and go that I paired up that didn't. I've had some surprise ovulations where I didn't expect anything to happen, so it's been a bit up and down. But on the whole, I've had so far a pretty good season, and it's not even finished yet. So do watch the video right up until the end. I've added on this late in the afternoon to just give you like a heads up that is quite a long video, but one that's very, very informative. And I've edited out the parts that I can edit out to make it a bit shorter. But when it's something like this and you're pulling a clutch of eggs and it's a pregnant female, or gravid female as we call them, you can't rush it. It's got to be done properly. It's got to be done meticulously. So if that's the video you're looking for, where no mistakes are made and it's done, I know there's a lot of guys that have been doing it for 20 years that aren't as meticulous and OCD as me. I've done it so that it's the way I've done this video is almost like a nothing's foolproof, okay, but I've done it very clinically, okay, to be safe and to give myself the best odds. So it is definitely worth a watch, but I just wanted to warn you, it is going to be quite long, but I think you will enjoy it right up until the end. So guys, without further ado, here probably comes the second intro, which was done a few days ago. Cheers. Guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Paul here from North Coast Constrictors. Now, I did say in my last video that I was going to do videos for the beginner ball python breeder, that I was going to add some stuff in from start to finish, and I thought, well, that tonight, now, this is the same day I recorded the video of my previous, where I did the video of the Lavendale being 100% head pied clutch. Something I just need to add in there, guys. Those lavender albinos, if you did watch my previous video, you probably thought to yourself they're pretty dull. They don't really pop. The oranges aren't popping. They're a couple of days away from shedding. They are incredibly dull. They're going to shed that skin, and when they do shed, they are going to be insanely bright orange. Okay, so now that I've got that out there, because I rewatched the video and I thought, wow, those look terrible. But I know that they are just a few days away from having their very first shed. Guys, I did say at the end of that video that I was going to do videos for the beginner ball python breeder. So let's say you're about to have your very first clutch of eggs, you want to do an egg box setup. Now the reason why I'm doing this video is that I've just done my nightly check before I switch off all the lights in the ball python room, in the snake room, and I turn off I turn off the light for the night, check my temps on all my tubs, and most importantly, check on the incubator, the temperatures inside the egg boxes on the incubator. Very, very important for me. I do that multiple times a day, a couple of times before I leave for work, when I get home from work, and then right throughout the late afternoon, early evening, and late into the night until before I go to bed, I check the temperatures inside the egg boxes. I'm pedantic about it, and I'm pedantic about I never let it get higher than 32.5 degrees Celsius inside the egg box. This is the egg box in question that we're talking about, with vermiculite inside and with an egg grate. And I'm going to show you how I set that up now. And the reason why I'm doing this video, it's for the novices, it's for the guys that need to know how to set up an egg box. Guys, as always, there are many different ways to set up an egg box. There are many different ways to incubate eggs. This is just one of them. I have found that this is the way that works for me best. You can use this information. You can choose not to use this information. It's entirely up to you. If you don't like the way that I do it, that's cool. If you've got a better way, or you know someone else that does it better, that's cool. This is my YouTube channel. This is how I set up my egg boxes, and so far I've had a pretty successful season. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video so quickly, so soon after I made the last video, is because while I was doing my nightly checks, I have got a female that should have laid about 2 days ago, 3 days ago maybe. You've always just got to take maybe about a week to 10 days factor into a female laying. Sometimes they don't go like clockwork, okay? She should have laid already, but I've been monitoring her closely. I do have 1 or 2 egg boxes set up inside the incubator, but one of them is a 6 liter, one of them is an 8 liter, and I'm looking at the size of this female, and I think her clutch is going to be bigger than what an 8 liter egg tub is, but it's going to be bigger than what a 6 liter egg tub needs. So what I'm doing is, what I like to do with the big clutches like that is that, let's say for example, it's got anywhere more than 8 eggs in it. Let's say it's got 7 or 8 eggs and above. Okay, then I'll spread those eggs out in 2 6-liter egg boxes. So if there's 10 eggs, I'll put 5 in each. If there's 11 eggs, I'll put 5 and 6. And if there's 12 eggs, 6 and 6. And more than that, then I'll start pulling out the 8 liters. Now I've had a look at her. She probably looks like she's going to give me, I would say, between 8 and 10 eggs. I'm taking a flyer here. She hasn't laid, but I just opened up that tub there. She's getting herself positioned, and I thought, okay, I'm going to set up another 2 egg boxes, and I'm going to make a video on it, guys. And I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? I'm not going to rush it because it has to be done exactly the way I do it. I'm pedantic. I know a lot of guys that throw vermiculite in, they don't measure, they don't weigh, they don't do any of that kind of stuff. They just go touch it to the feel. That's great. Those guys have been doing it for years. They know their craft. They're professional at it. I'm a second-year breeder. I don't take any chances. I do it absolutely down to the letter. So let's just start off with one of my egg boxes. It's already been disinfected. It's already been in steaming hot water. What I do again is I spray it down with F10. I just disinfect it again. There's nothing worse. I think this might be dropping a little bit. Okay, let me get that up there. Bacteria, guys. You have to have an absolutely 100% sterile setup. absolutely sterile setup. Okay, so then I place the egg box on top of my scale. Alright, and it's zeroed. Now I use vermiculite, some guys use perlite, and with these 6-litre tubs I use 300 grams of vermiculite, and I'm just getting to the 300 gram marker, sorry, to 80, to 95, to 97, to 99, 300. 300. That's how pedantic I am. Okay, so I use 300 grams. Guys, notice that I'm going in weight. Okay, alright. Take the egg box off and I get my protein shake bottle. Boom. Now, guys, I have a small hole on that each side of the egg box. I do not have airtight egg boxes, so I do not do a 1-to-1 ratio weight-wise of water to vermiculite. A lot of guys do airtight and they do a 1-to-1 ratio. So if they put 300 grams of vermiculite, they'll do 300 grams of water, but then it's sealed and it doesn't evaporate. I do a 2-to-1 ratio because I've got air holes, because I believe in osmosis. The eggshells have got to breathe. Okay, this is the way I do it, guys. Please, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. I'm making a video on the way I do it. I can't stress that enough to you. Okay, this is not the only way it works. It works. A lot of guys bury their eggs in this. I put an egg grate on top, so a light diffuse on top, so the eggs don't even touch the vermiculite. I keep them completely dry. Right. So what I do now is I've got 300 grams of vermiculite, and I've got a jug of hot water here and a jug of cold water here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zero that now, and I'm going to do 600 grams of water. All right. Okay, now that's 300 of hot water, and I'm going to do another 300 of cool water. Okay, you're probably asking yourself why I'm doing hot and cold. Because the reason why I'm doing hot and cold, alright, is because these are going straight into the egg box, straight into the incubator. Okay? And if it's too hot, it's going to raise the temperature in the incubator. So I've made it warm enough so that, obviously, okay, I'm mixing around the water now. I'm mixing the vermiculite and water together. It's 600 grams of water. Guys, remember, it's not 600 milliliters of water to 600 grams of vermiculite. It's weight. A lot of guys would do 300, or depending on the egg type, to each their own, how much vermiculite or perlite even that they use, and they do a 1-to-1 ratio. And they'll do, like say, 300 grams of vermiculite and 300 grams of water, and then they'll put those eggs directly onto the vermiculite. And one of my best friends and one of the top breeders in South Africa does exactly that. He just takes the eggs and he puts them straight onto the vermiculite. And I don't. I do it a different way. And I've got another good friend of mine, just made friends with him, the power of social media, another snake breeder in the UK. He does his eggs with an egg grate, okay? Same as me, same as what I'm doing now. Alright? And you can see I'm OCD because everything has to be parallel. But guys, I don't want the eggs to roll, so I want this has to be completely level. When I put the egg grate on it, when I put the egg grate down on it, this layer of vermiculite now needs to be almost parallel. If I had a spirit level, I'd probably put it in here. That is being a bit OCD, I suppose. Okay, what I do now, guys, is, well, I usually go through to the bathroom in the next room and I rinse my hands with all the vermiculite off, okay? But I'm not doing that now because I just wipe the sides now of the vermiculite that's stuck on the sides. Okay, and guys, what I do is I take my F10 SC, okay, and this thing is falling again. I don't know what is happening here. I think it's the camera stand. Sorry about that, guys. Must be a little bit frustrating. Right, and I spray F10 on top of the vermiculite. Absolutely 100% safe. Kill any bacteria inside. If there was any bacteria, even I've already sterilized these tubs. I know other breeders that do it. I've only heard of a few that do it, but let me tell you, I've done it to all my clutches, and so far everything's been great. Right, now got my egg diffuser, my light diffuser. I call it an egg diffuser, and I spray it down too. F10, bacteria, kill it, kill all the bacteria. Okay, so obviously you don't want this wet because we don't want to get the shells wet, okay? So, and my hands are disinfected with F10 cream, gel, okay? And then what I do now is I take my light diffuser and I put it on top of the vermiculite, and it's sitting at 29.6 degrees, which is a little bit cooler than what I would like it, but that's because I'll be making a video. I'm usually would have done this a little bit quicker, but and the water would have been a little bit hotter. Okay, so guys, that's how I set up my egg box. So you can see inside there now, you can see around, okay, there is a space. The eggs will go on top of that light diffuser. Now, I'm not going to do the second one because that would just take up too much time. I'll do that off camera. My F10, and these are all clean, by the way. I just pulled them off and scrunched them up before I started making the video. Okay, and what I do now, the reason why I do a 2-to-1 ratio of water to vermiculite is because of the air holes in here, which means that it's going to evaporate. Okay, if it was airtight and I did a 1-to-1 ratio, it would be fine. I wouldn't need to put more water. But because I've got holes and these tubs aren't airtight and they're going to breathe inside the incubator there, it is going to evaporate over the 60 days that these eggs are incubating. Hence the reason why I do a 2-to-1 ratio, because you need 100% humidity. The last thing that you need is for your humidity to drop. Okay, you need high humidity while you're incubating the eggs. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to just turn the camera around to my incubator. Take it, lock off. And this egg box now goes inside the, close it up, boom. And that, my friends, is going to be, I'm going to set up this other one now, but I'm going to do it off camera. That's how I set up my egg box. I'm willing to bet that tomorrow morning when I come in, the female behind the camera, she's 100% het pied. She bred to a yellow belly pied male. I'm hoping to hit yellow belly pards or pards, and if not, everything will be 100% het pard. I guarantee you that she is going to have laid some eggs for me tomorrow. If she doesn't, not a worry. By the end of the weekend, I think I'll have a clutch of eggs, but I've got a feeling it's going to happen tonight during the course of the night. And I think I'm going to need both these egg boxes. I think I'm going to have to split 4 and 4, or 4 and 5, or 5 and 5. Who knows? She may give me 10 eggs. She's a big girl. I've got a feeling she's going to give me around the 8 to 10 mark. So guys, that was just a 15-minute, 16-minute video on how I set up my egg boxes. I'm going to not end it off here. I'm just going to say cheers for now, because if she has laid tomorrow morning, I'm going to follow on from this video. Okay, and when she does, if she hasn't, when she does lay, I'll edit it into this video. Okay, all right, so see you in part 2 of pulling the clutch and putting them into the egg boxes that I've just prepared. Okay guys, so, well, it wasn't quite the next morning, but the following morning that we got a clutch of eggs. So, as I said, we're going to be doing this for the new ball python breeder. Let's say this is your first clutch of eggs, and you've got to pull your first female. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, the pairing here was a yellow belly pied male, the sire. We call the male a sire, and the female was the dame. The dame in this case was a wild type, 100% het for pied. Okay, so let's pull open here and have a look, and you can see that she is coiled around a nice big clutch of eggs. Alright, so now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the water bowl. Just put it down on the floor out of the way. Okay, make sure that I've got no water, even just the slightest little bit of water on an egg can be a bit detrimental. Okay, up here I've got a tub of fresh water already on a heat pad with temperature, exactly what her temperature is in here. Now what I'm doing, come and have a look here, is I'm going to show you how to pull a female from a clutch of eggs. They are very defensive at this point. Okay, she's protecting her babies. And what we want to do is we want to move the snake off the eggs. You can hear her hissing, without A, hurting the snake, and without the eggs rolling as far as possible. So I find that just putting my hand over the head works. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to try and find where the back of the tail is, which is round about here. I might take a swap. Okay, so she's now using her tail to hook around those eggs. Okay, so now I've got that tail away. Right, so now I can gently, there we go. Now all those eggs have stayed the same. And now we've got this beautiful female. The first thing that I do, hello my sweetheart, you did well. I haven't counted the eggs yet, and what I'm doing is I'm palpating her belly here to see if she's got any stuck eggs. Okay, now the eggs are usually down at the bottom here, and you can see that she is not egg bound. Guys, snake being egg bound. Now I've seen a lump like this before where it looks like it's egg bound, but it's not. It's just the way she is. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put those eggs straight back onto heat. Show my sweetheart. Okay, and I'm going to put this female now into this container of water, which is fresh water. Okay, there's no soap in it. Approximately 31 to 31.5 degrees Celsius, and it's the same temperature as what her hotspot was in the tub. Okay, that's the temperature that it was in the tub. Okay, so now it's time to pull the eggs. Okay, so these are the eggs, and I'm going to let's see how many we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you remember correctly, I said in my last video, I think she's going to give me between 8 and 10 eggs. And I was spot on. And what I'm doing here now, I prepared 2 egg boxes for those eggs. And here they are here, already set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 and 4. Actually, we might, guys, we might be able to get away with doing we'll try a bigger egg box. This is an 8 liter, those were 2 6 liters. Okay. We'll try one of the bigger egg boxes and we'll see. So just make sure the temperatures are alright. Okay, 30.5 degrees for all of those. Right. First things first though, and without losing temperature, place this back in. I'm going to candle these eggs. Now, I've been touching a lot of things there, so the gloves are coming off. And the F10 disinfectant, hand disinfectant comes on. And you're dealing with eggs, you don't want any bacteria. I know this video is going to probably run to quite some distance, guys, but as I say, for all you guys that have done this 100 times before, probably should cut off now. There's no need for you to watch this. You guys have all, you know what you're doing. This is for the new ball python breeder, so I'm going to take extra time doing it and explaining it for the new breeder. This video is designed for the new breeder. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to candle the eggs. And what I'm doing is I'm candling the eggs for veins. Okay. So I shine a light on them. We can see very strong veins there. Okay. You can shine a light there, strong. We can see strong veins, although the embryo looks like that one's upside down. You can see strong veins. Strong veins, very, very good strong veins there. Strong veins, very strong veins. Embryos on the side. Strong veins there. And strong veins there. The only one that I'm worried about is this one here. The embryo looks like it's over there. Okay, so guys, we've got a successful clutch of eggs. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull out the egg box and I'm going to see if we can get all 8. And I'm not going to separate the eggs that I don't need to separate. Okay, I go through a lot of hand sanitizer, guys. I threw a lot of hand sanitizer. Okay, so egg box is set up. Hands are sterilized and dry. So, okay, already this one egg here, if I try and put it into that egg box, it's not going to fit. I can just by experience tell. So what I've done is I have separated that egg, just that one. I'm going to candle, and then what I do, if you come and have a look here, I have now found the embryo at the top there. I'm sure you can see it. Or like a spider web of veins that have come to the top. I'm going to place that egg on top. Just take a little bit of the substrate off. I'm going to place that egg over here, embryo facing up. Guys, embryo up, embryo down. Better to have it up, but it's not life or death. Okay, what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to take this entire, hopefully, clutch of eggs as they are, and I'm going to place them on the, first of all, and this is the tricky part here now, is to take any substrate off underneath, like little bits of wood chip that may have got stuck on the egg. You do not want to drop these eggs now. There are little bits and pieces of wood chip. I am doing my level best, level being the optimal word here, to keep the clutch level right. So now we have got a clean base of eggs. Oh, there we go, it worked well. So what we're going to do now, let's just get this right. We can actually bring that egg in, move that up. Now what we don't, if you look over here, if you look at the top, you don't want the eggs touching the sides at all, okay? Because there's going to be condensation that builds up on the sides. Now, I'm just going to do another candle. I am just a little, okay, worried. Embryo on the top there. This is the one here. No, the embryo's on the side there, so there's still embryos over here on that one, embryos over here. So now what I do, guys, I take my marker, and I mark where the embryo is. Okay, embryos on the side there, embryos right up here. So my glasses are falling off. Embryos down here. When I say the duct, just the, now on this one, embryos over here. Embryos over here on this one. Embryos over here on that one. And the embryo is down here on that one. So I've marked them all. Okay, so now that that's done, I've got one egg. I don't know what I've done with my box now, because I rearranged everything just now to, I had a little box here. Just hold for 5 minutes while I find my box where I put to stop the eggs from rolling around. Okay, right, so over here inside this little box, I've got these little, they're actually offcuts from these light diffusers, guys. When I cut these light diffusers to shape, I keep these as, like, guys use straws, other guys use plastic clothes pegs. I use these, and what I do is I put them inside like that to stop the egg from rolling around. Okay, so now when I'm moving the egg box around, these aren't going to move because they're all stuck together, but this one loose one here is going to be a bit of an issue, so I don't want it to move. Okay, so here we go, guys, a clutch of 8 perfect eggs. The pairing was a yellow belly pied to 100% head pied. As you know, the project that we're going for here are yellow belly pieds, and let's hope we get 8 healthy hatchlings. This has also got 4 holes. These tubs are the same. I've just used a higher rate of vermiculite, obviously more vermiculite. Now, guys, when I get a new clutch of eggs, they go on the top shelf. I move everything down. This is just a spare egg tub. Alright, so what I do now is everything's got to come down. The freshest clutch goes on the top. Okay. Alright, so I now move these down. It's just because heat rises, and although I've got a fan inside here that circulates the air, the eggs that are about to hatch are all at the bottom here, and at the last week or two, the temperature inside the egg spikes. So you want the eggs at the lower part of the fridge where the temperature is about a half a degree cooler. Okay, but up at the top here, the eggs are about a half a degree warmer. Okay, so I'm taking this out and I'm putting these eggs down here. I'm leaving those where they are because it's not taking up any space. I'm now taking this and I'm putting it up here. Boom. Inside these 2 egg tubs, I've just got 2 eggs in there and 1 egg in here. This was from an unsuccessful clutch where 3 of the eggs died, and that was from a clutch where unfortunately I had 8 slugs and 2 good eggs. And these are just smaller egg boxes, as you can see. 1 for 2 eggs, 1 for 1 egg. It's just, I've got an assortment of different boxes for, you know, whatever the female throws at me that day. So we were able to use one of these egg boxes, which is great, an 8 litre, and that is set up. And that's how it's done, guys. That is a successful. Okay, now what we're going to do now, and I'm not going to put this on video because if you want to, because this is a boring part, and this is also a no-brainer. The female now is soaking in fresh water. Okay, this is her tub. She's obviously been lying here for months, cooled around these eggs. The scent is thick inside there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just come and have a look here. Okay, the first thing that I do is I spray everything down, most including the roof here, with F10. Now F10, guys, is a pet-friendly veterinary disinfectant. Okay. And I do a ratio, that's a concentrated version. I do 3 mils to 1 litre of water, okay? So that'll help take the scent away. That'll help take the scent away. And then what I do now is I'm wiping and sterilizing the roof of her enclosure here. I'm actually going to move her to another part of the enclosure, and I'm going to put a different tub here with a different snake. The reason why is that she won't be able to smell her eggs, because that's what she's going to be doing now. She's going to be looking for her eggs, and even though I'm still going to keep her in the same rack, and she probably still will be able to smell slightly, but she won't be right where those eggs were, you know. So that's just a handy tip, guys, when you do that. In fact, let's show you that part. Let's show you that part. Okay, so I've emptied all the substrate out. This is, guys, what I use for the this is F10 super concentrate disinfectant. It's a different kind. The other one that I usually actually spray on the snake. Okay. This one here I use inside the egg tub. It's inside the snake tub. Okay, this is her tub now. This is a little bit more concentrated. I use one mil per litre. And this kills off any bacteria. This is sterilized anyway, guys. It's not it's already been sterilized specifically for the egg laying. Alright, guys, so if you come and have a look here, there's fresh new tub set up for this female. Brand new substrate, everything's been disinfected, the water bowl's been disinfected. This here was her shelf, okay, she was there. What I'm doing now is I'm taking this female here, okay, who has, in fact, let's have a look here. We're going to move a different, Yeah. There you go. This female here. And we're going to put it into the section of the rack where that tub was. And now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it down here. And fresh water. Alright, start that closed. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to soak this girl down. She has been soaking in this now for a while. So she could have had a drink of water, sunlight or surf, a little bit of soapy water. She's nice and warm, so what I'm doing now is I just foam it up a little bit. Okay, harmless dishwashing, and I wash her down like that. Okay, and especially to make sure that I get under the belly here where she had the eggs wrapped around. And what I'm doing, guys, is I'm washing the scent of the eggs off. At the same time, I'm feeling her underneath her stomach to make sure she's not egg bound anywhere. It looks like she's got a big okay, so now she's all soaked down, and then what I do is I take a paper towel and she's going to dry herself off. I just hold them like this and she'll work her way through and get all that soapy water off. Careful not to hold her out too much, she's been through quite a bit. Stretch her out, I mean. I know I look clumsy as hell, but my main concern here is the snake. I just wanted to have everything off her. Alright, and now I'll introduce her into her new tub. Now what she's going to do is she's immediately going to start looking for her eggs. They're not going to be here. There's no scent, there's no smell. You can see how hollow she is here. Okay, I'm going to put her inside there now. I'm going to close her up. I'm going to leave her alone. And guys, that's how it's done from start to finish. What happens now is I start cleaning up, empty all this out. The snake is okay, the eggs are okay. I'll go inside there just now and make sure that the temperatures are fine. But I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. I know it was quite a long one, but that is pretty much from start to finish. It was a successful clutch of eggs. Thank goodness there were no slugs. If those eggs now, if you come and have a look here, if you see up here, my incubator is set to 31.4 degrees Celsius. I've got a 0.3 degrees Celsius variance. So I like to keep I incubate my eggs at between 30.5 and 31.5 degrees Celsius inside the egg box, and I let them peak at a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. I do not incubate at 32 or 32.5 degrees Celsius. Even though this says 31.4 degrees Celsius, okay, it's different inside the egg box because the egg box is sealed and it can get warmer, okay? So that's why I always have a heat gun, a temp gun. So I open up the egg boxes and I check, okay? So for example, now I'll just show you the temperature currently is 31.7 inside the incubator. Now if I pull out this clutch of eggs here and I open it up and I do a temperature check, 31.1 and 30.8. Now it's 31.1 at the back and 30.8 at the front is because all the heating is at the back and on the sides and underneath, okay? So the eggs at the back are going to be warmer, and I have done a video on this before. Once a week I come into the egg box, into the egg room, the snake room, and I take all the egg boxes and I swing them around 80 degrees on a Monday night, and I put them all so that the eggs at the back and the eggs at the front have 1 week of equal temperature. I don't touch them otherwise. Okay, now this freshly laid clutch here, we'll have a look and see. 29.4, 28.9, 29. Now guys, that's okay. We've been working with that egg box. It's lost a little bit of heat, but it's right up at the top. Here's my sensor. We're going to close it up. It doesn't matter if this temperature drops down to 25 degrees Celsius, it's not going to kill the eggs. Your danger zone, inside your temperature, inside your incubator, inside your egg box, when you've got eggs inside the egg box, especially freshly laid eggs, at 33.3 degrees Celsius, if it hits that temperature, your embryo dies. I have made a video on that before. So to the guys that do incubate their eggs at 32.5 degrees consistently and set their thermostat here to 32 or 32.5, please check. I'm not telling you not to do that. You do you, whatever works for you. But guys, please make sure to check the inside of your egg boxes, because a degree or 31 degrees Celsius, 31.5 degrees Celsius is actually optimal. That's the best, in my opinion, and a lot of other breeders, that's the best temperature to have inside the egg box. Naturally, in the last week or two, the temperature of the egg itself is going to spike. Whether you touch this thermostat or not, doesn't matter what you've set your temperature at, the temperature naturally is going to spike. So if you've already got it at 32.5 degrees, and the temperature spikes by 1 degree inside the egg box, it's going to shoot up to 33.5 degrees Celsius, and that's too hot. So I keep it down a degree lower, and I'd rather wait an extra couple of days for my eggs to hatch. I don't incubate at 32.5 degrees Celsius. I incubate at 30.5 to 31.5, and I allow it to get a maximum of 32. When I start seeing 31.8, I'll start checking, a little bit more. If I see it hits up to 32, I'll come in and adjust this down 0.1 or 0.2 degrees. And then I'll also, as I say, I shift the egg boxes down. As a new clutch gets laid, and so the older clutches get moved down a shelf. So guys, I think I've gone on long enough now. I think you pretty much should have the idea by now. And once that's done, and you've done everything properly, and let's show you what will happen once these eggs hatch. I've got inside my hands here, if you bring the camera here, you'll have a clutch of beautiful hatchlings. Okay, now there are 8 hatchlings inside there. That is lavender albino 100% het paard, and the one on top there, that's a 100% double het lavender albino paard. Those eggs, the reason those are successful clutch of eggs that hatched out about 2 weeks ago. And they are about to have their first pre-lay shed. Okay, so if you do everything right, after between 55 and 60 days, your eggs will pip, your snakes will come out. I keep them in the egg box, but I take the vermiculite out and I take the egg grates out, and I put paper towel inside there, I moisten it down, I put the eggs inside there once they've pipped, and I leave them inside the incubator until they've all come out the eggs. Then I take them out the eggs and I put fresh towel down, and I put the snakes back inside without the shells, the hatchlings, moisten the towel down and put them back inside the incubator until they've had their first shed. I do not put them into the hatchling rack together in a big tub like this here with all together in a hatchling tub. I leave them in the incubator until they've had their first shed. And those guys, the reason why they look so dull now, they don't look bright like lavender albino, like this beautiful girl here. Have a look at this. This is an identical snake. Look at the state of this girl. This is a lavender albino 66% pos het paard, exactly the same as those what you've just seen, except those are all 100% het paard. Okay, this is a 66% pos het paard. So we've got a 60. That's the same. Look how bright she is. When those hatchlings there have their first shed, that's what they're going to look like. Once they've had their first shed, then they come into this rack here, and they go into hatchling tubs. This is an empty hatchling tub. This is a tub here that has got, let me pull out one of my beauties here. Okay, what you can see here is a hatchling. This is a super pastel exantic yellow belly. and it's had its first shed. It's had 2 meals and is now in a hatchling rack, and it's been sexed. This is a little female, and this is one of my hatchling racks. I've got another 2 like this, but we haven't hatched all our clutch. We've got 1 clutch of eggs. That's the second clutch. In about 3 days time, those hatchlings, once they've shed, will come out and go into this rack, exactly like you see that. And guys, that is the process from start to finish. I will wait about 3 days, 4 days, and then I will offer them their first meal, which will be a hopper mouse. And that is another whole video, and I'm not going to get into that because it's absolutely way too long now. But so guys, that is what you've seen now, is the process from start to finish, from the incubation, laying the eggs, pulling the eggs, setting up the egg box, incubating, seeing a hatchling tub, what the hatchling looks like, seeing the pre-lay shed, seeing what they look like now inside there. Now these snakes, some of them are holdbacks, some of them are for sale, and that is how it works. That is how it goes. Anyway, from me, it's over and out. I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing my voice now, and I'm tired of recording. I've got a lot to do today. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Cheers for now.